Hey guys, I've got a normal distribution question here to just get us started into getting ourselves for the zone. So to get to the normal distribution option on your graphics calculator, hopefully your graphics calculator looks something like this. It's basically like using a phone or a car or whatever you can think of. You want to be able to use these buttons here, the gray button, to move into whichever option you want. And if you want that option, you want to click the EXE button. So we're going to use stat mode. This is what your screen should look like. And then you want to go into distribution. So that's F5. And then you want to go into normal distribution, which is F1. And at level 2, we mostly use NCD and inverse. So yeah, you want to press F2 to get into NCD, and if you want to get out of that screen, you just press exit. Okay? Okay. Cool, so back to the question. IQ tests are meant for intelligence, blah blah blah. Take a second to pause and read the question. The key information we need to note down from here is what the mean is and what the standard deviation is. To write them using symbols, I use a squiggly thing like this for mean. Just gonna and a circle with a line on top for standard deviation. Okay, fine, that's the thickest we can do. That's okay. So in this question, the mean is 100 and standard deviation is 15. Let's quickly write that down. Great. Alright, for the first question, what is the probability that a randomly selected result is between 85 and 115? So it always helps to give yourself a sketch like this. That's assuming that's what our normal distribution curve looks like. That's a very bad curve. Let's draw that again. Something like that. So your mean is bang in the middle, which means 85 would be roughly here and 115 would be roughly here. So when they say what the probability is, what they're asking for is the area under the curve. What is it between 85 and 115? So you take your graphics calculator, you go into distributions and NCD. Your lower limit is going to be the lower of the values, which is 85. If you want to show this as you're working out, you can write this out, which makes your marker hopefully a little bit happier, and upper limit is 115. So let's put that in. Standard deviation is 15 and mean is 100. And then you just press execute. Well, that's your answer. So probability that a randomly selected result being between 85 and 115 is 0.68268. Well, we're going to leave it at that. You can round it up if you want. Same thing with the next one, probability being between 120 and 130. This time your bell curve is looking the same. If your 100 is right in the middle, you know that 120 and 130 are going to be somewhere here. So you want the area under the curve between 120 and 130. Same drill, lower limit is 120, upper limit is 130, mean, standard deviation are the same. Get out of the screen, just press exit, move the arrow up, 120. The answer is 0.06846. Alright, next one. How many of the 350 results would you expect to be under 75? Okay, keyword expect, which means expected value. When they're asking you for that, they're no longer obviously asking you for a probability. Expected value is the number that they give you, the total, times the probability of those results being less than 75. So to calculate the probability of what's happening, yeah, so we're going to first calculate the probability of x being less than 75, which means your normal distribution curve looks a little bit like this for the situation. 100 is bang in the middle, 75 somewhere over here. And if you want the probability of x being less than 75, you're looking at basically the rest of the curve, wherever it ends, all the way to some really small number. We want all of that area. So in this situation, your lower limit is going to be some really large negative number. For this situation, 1000 is fine. And upper limit is 75 because that's where your limit is stopping. And so your probability of x being less than 75 will be please remember to put the negative for the lower limits. Upper is 75. That's it. So your probability is 0.04779. Cool. And after that, we need to figure out the expected value. So your expected value would be 0.04779 multiplied by 350 gives us 16.73 rounded, which is approximately equal to 17. I mean, in the context of the question, we don't know whether we want a whole number or a rounded number, so that's where I will leave it as. For E, what is the probability random selected result be? Selecting a result less than 85 or more than 115. So as always, if you see the word or, we need to add. So just find the probabilities of it being less than 85 and more than 115 and add them up. I'm not going to do this one for you. I will leave it to you, but I will give you the final answer. Alright, hope you had a go at doing it on your own. The probability was the same for both. So your final answer of x being, okay, I write it like this. You don't need to, you could just use words. maybe not equal to, but yeah. Final answer is 0.3174. Cool. Now we can do a pass exam question.